All right, all right, all right. I think we are live. What's going on, Kyle?
What's up? Thanks for having me, Nathan. I'm super excited to be here, man.
Dude, I'm excited to have you in here. And you're just traveling the world right now, right?
Yeah. I traveled the world full time in my Class A motorhome. We've been traveling around the United States for the last 2 years, and before that, we were living in Europe for 6 months straight, going to different Airbnbs and apartments around there, all across Italy and Croatia and Prague and France. So yeah, this is just our lifestyle. We travel all the time. I'm in my Jeep right now. This is kind of like my mobile office as we're going
Ooh,
around. So it allows us to jump in and have a quiet place to talk. But I do this from the road, and I'm
yeah.
able to get deals virtually out of Facebook groups from the road. And then I leverage a team to make it hands off. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about today. Now, everybody, this is the Investor Thrive Sales Mastery podcast. So we try to tie in people doing deals, people being successful into sales and how it translates, right? And I know you got some sales experience from the last time we talked, but let's kind of dive right into it. You're hitting the road, you're doing deals virtually, and you specifically focus on getting deals through Facebook groups, right?
Yeah, 100% organically, just posting in local community-based groups, kind of like digital bandit signs.
Oh my gosh. Okay, bro, let's dive right into it. So, what made you find out about this strategy? How did you find out about it?
It actually came out of a lot of pain, a lot of struggle on my part when I came into this.
Okay.
And last time we were speaking, I was telling you about how we come from the same world, knocking doors,
Oh,
selling satellite TV.
that's right, brother.
You were on Dish, and I was on Direct TV. You were Team Red, I was Team Blue,
Well,
right?
dude,
But
I first
that's
started,
like
I did both. I was doing both. I had the patch on the Direct TV on one side and Dish, and depending on what they had, I was like, I'll sell you what you need. But then I eventually just did Dish. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, swapping back and forth. That was kind of what I did too.
Yeah.
But I only wore the Direct TV logo because I worked with them. I worked with one of the largest contractors
Mm.
around, and I was number 7 top salesperson in the nation, which was super cool. I got a
Let's
plaque for it and everything, and I
let's
was stacking a
go.
bunch of money in the summer and just taking the time off in the winter. But
Life.
I was really capped on what I could make. I had to put so much time into it,
Hmm.
and you can't knock doors forever. You can't do it
No,
all year long. You'd burn out.
burn.
So it's
No,
just
don't.
something I had a hard time with, and I won a cruise from working with the company for a year and hitting my target. So I
Mhm.
went on a cruise to Ensenada, and I remember thinking on the cruise, and I was talking to Maddie. I'm like, man, we could be doing so much bigger. We could be doing bigger things.
Yeah.
Why am I not in medical sales? Why am I not in real estate? We were just kind of having these dreams of selling things that would transact more. We'd be able to get more commission for each transaction that we put in. So that kind of led me down the path, and I found real estate investing. I got my YouTube education. There's so much good stuff on YouTube, and so I just dove in
Right.
and learned all of this stuff for free. And then I jumped right into it. I quit working for DirecTV, and I went 100% all into wholesaling. And I was working in Portland at the time. And man, that's a tough market to go about it.
That's what I've heard.
And I was driving for dollars. I was doing cold calling. I was looking at FISBO sites and doing all of these things, and I wasn't getting much traction. I'd get close, and then something would fall through. So then I found a mentor, and I told him, look, I work for you for commission only.
Hmm.
I'll help you build a team. You give me $600 a week for float money while I learn this, and we'll rock. And he's like, okay, I'll back you. We'll
Bam.
do this.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was cool. So it's my way to kind of get in the door and make a little bit of money to get me by as I kind of figured it out.
Hmm.
And he paid for a course for me that was all about direct mail. And then he front the money for the direct mail campaign,
Hmm.
and he was spending $10,000 a month.
Oof.
So 4 months later, $40,000,
That's right.
and we didn't get a single deal from it.
Bro, mail can be it can be painful.
Yeah, and some people kill it with mail. I guess it just
Depends on the
depends on
market,
on
right?
on having the patience and doing the split tests and finding out what worked, what niche works in your market.
Mhm.
But for us, it was just a big loss, and it was devastating for me because that was my commission.
Mhm.
If he's losing money on what we're doing, I'm not making any money.
right.
So, and that $600 a week, that was just float money. That's going to be deducted from future commissions,
Exactly.
right? So I remember just sitting there with my head in my hands, devastated, ready to walk away forever. I was just done. But then a light bulb went off. I'm like, you know what? At least we were able to find a couple deals. We broke even.
Hmm.
Sorry, I didn't owe this guy money, which is good. And we found deals using Facebook groups. We found one deal off of Craigslist, which was crazy that worked out. And we
Right.
made a good amount of money on that one. But Facebook groups, that was the thing. So once I discovered that, everything changed for me. I was able to just post and get leads on demand to where it was like so many leads, I couldn't keep up with them.
Hmm.
So it
Hmm.
was like a faucet that I could turn on and turn off at will.
That's
And
awesome.
then I started to really ramp up and went off on my own and decided to go virtual because I didn't like just staying in the Portland market.
Right.
I'm like, what if I just go get low hanging fruit all over? It doesn't matter what market I'm in. I'm just going to go get the low hanging fruit. And
Hmm.
once I took that mentality, man, it just got so much better from there.
For sure. Okay, so I know. So I've actually talked to someone about this before. So you post on neighborhood groups. We're not talking like real estate investors of Utah, real estate investors of Idaho. You actually go find neighborhood groups, correct?
Yeah, 100%. Because I'm not trying to find other investors. I'm not trying to find
Mhm.
wholesale opportunities. Those are a dime a dozen. And there's
Right.
I want to find direct to seller when I'm doing this method. So that's what we tend to focus on, direct to seller, and then also investor friendly agents with pocket listings.
I love it. So when you do the postings in neighborhood groups, are you doing any neighborhood group in the United States, or are they specifically targeted to major metros where there's investors there? Can it be random?
So you generally want to stick within a metro area and
Yeah.
2 to 3 hours outside of town. 3 hours is really pushing it.
Right. Right.
But those outskirt towns, as long as there's good comps and there's the data supports that you'll be able to sell the property if you
Of
list
course.
it,
Yeah.
then you can hit these little outskirt towns, and they're like fishing holes that nobody else is hitting.
So tell me about that. What is the main strategy when you get those leads in kind of outskirt towns? Is it to list them for them on like a Novation, or what are you doing? Are you wholesaling them?
Wholesale. That's primarily what I
Wholesale.
do myself. I have investors that work with me in my program. Some of them do flips, some of them do buy and hold, some of them focus on subject to. We don't have a ton of people that do novations. That seems like kind of a new thing. That there's some people that know about it, but not a ton of people doing it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's like a newer
so,
thing that people are pushing now, and it was bigger back in the last 2 years because you could just take a random house and list it and get top dollar for it. So that's what a lot of people were doing back in the day. Let me ask you this: so tell me about your program. Do you just give the outline for people to go and post in those groups and tell them how to do it, or is there a system behind it? Like, tell me more about that.
yeah, so we have two different levels of
Mhm.
our program. There's one that's done for you. It's like a business out of a box to where we're going in and we're helping you train and recruit not just your appointment setter team, but your management. We're helping you find and train an acquisition manager. We're helping you find and train an operations manager, somebody to run dispo, somebody to run your underwriting.
Mhm.
We're helping place your virtual assistants. So completely business out of a box where we're right there alongside you, helping you recruit this team and also helping you train them. And
Wow.
then in this
Awesome.
program, we're using Facebook groups and building commission only teams around Facebook groups. They use their own Facebook accounts to go and post
Cool. Yeah.
on the investor's behalf.
Okay.
And then we have another side where we do SMS. So it's
Okay.
SMS marketing. A lot of people will use VAs to manage their SMS campaigns.
Mhm.
We use commission only reps. We use hustlers and put them in those positions because we feel like it
Oh,
converts better.
VA commission reps, or are they Americans?
US based, coming from sales background, door to door, MLM, that type of person, that
Wow.
personality type.
And they text for people, commission only?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because they're not just texting, they're converting them. They're running the triage, they're making sure that it's qualified, they're getting it booked in with an appointment with the acquisition manager. So they're actually taking it to the finish line, making sure it's quality first, and then booking it in with the closer.
And the closer is usually the client, right? Or the person that is that how it works? Or is the closer someone that they've hired as well?
The closer is an acquisition manager. So that's somebody that they hire. It's not them.
It's not
But
them. Okay.
we, yeah. So in this, it's really meant to be a passive owner.
Okay.
You're not a business operator. You're a business owner. And this program is for people that they might not have a ton of knowledge in real estate,
Hmm.
and they definitely don't have time to do it themselves. So, but they have the money and they're ready just to plug in a team, and they are willing to go in with that overhead, knowing that they're going to get a return
Wow.
and not have to put in a ton of time.
That's
So that's
sweet.
the higher echelon program. And the one below that is this is for people that have the knowledge, but they don't necessarily have a ton of funds. They have access to some capital. Obviously, you got to be willing to invest in your company. But this is for somebody that wants to be more involved. They're
Okay.
the acquisition manager at first,
Right. Right.
but we're still helping them recruit and train their team of appointment setters.
That's awesome,
We're
man. Sounds like a
yeah,
great
in
business.
that program, we're not placing the VAs, we're not placing the acquisition manager, the dispo manager, anything like
That's
that.
only for the upper echelon one, right?
Yeah, so but this one we're building out your appointment center to make sure that we can make it rain with appointments, make it rain with leads.
Wow.
So that's a big thing. That's the first step is you need to be able to make offers before you can build out all of this other stuff if you're starting out.
So on average, how many posts generate? How many leads are generated from like a post?
It really depends on the group. One group you might get 60 comments, and that's a really, really good post. And you could get, 5 to 10 appointments from a post like that.
Okay.
Another post you might only get 3 comments.
Right.
But the thing is all you need is one qualified seller, that's off the radar. They're not on some list. They're not being hit by everybody else. And a lot of the times you're the only one speaking to them just because you found them and you happen to find them in some group. And a lot of the times it's the kid, and they're helping their grandparents sell their property, or it's the adult children that are helping their mother get into a care facility and
Wow.
helping move that. So situations kind of like that are what you're going to run into.
So if you could give us a little nugget, like what would someone, if someone like saw this and was like, I want to try it, like what would you tell them to go post?
Yeah, so you're going to want to hit up local groups, community-based groups, something like a garage sale group,
Hmm.
right? And then you post something similar that you would see on a bandit sign. Looking for a fixer upper, willing to pay cash, who's selling? You put
Okay.
a bright background on it. That's it.
White background, so it's not like one of those colored ones.
No, bright. It's a bright background,
Oh, bright.
and
Okay.
you can use a lot of them, but you don't want to go with patterns that are going to make it hard to read.
Got it. Okay, cool, man. So if you I mean, how many would you recommend someone do a day? Like if someone's just gonna hear this and be like, I'm gonna go try it and generate some leads. Like how many would they
So,
post a day?
so you have to max out your account. You have to redline your account because Facebook limits you like crazy, right?
Okay.
They'll put you in Facebook jail to where you can't post in groups you don't own for up to a month, which kills all of
Wow.
your momentum. So it sucks. So what you got to do is you got to obey the speed limit, but you also want to max out your potential. So you do 13 posts a day, 13 posts a day, 5 days a week, and joining groups on the weekends.
So, but you're saying if you post in a group that you don't belong to, they'll crush you, but that you probably won't be able to post it unless you belong to it, right?
Yeah, you have to be in the group.
Okay.
The best groups are private groups, and you have to
Got
be
it.
a part of the private group in order to be able to post. But what I'm saying is, if you're going above the speed limit, Facebook, the algorithm will say, "Oh, this person went over the number 13, so now we're going to put them in Facebook jail," and it completely blocks you from being able to post in other
Posting
people's groups.
groups. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
They shut me down. I can't DM people. What's up with that, man? What's the
Yeah,
limit on that?
exactly. And there's limits on that. So really, that's about 80. You can message 80 people per day, and you have to be friends first. So what you
Mm,
do is if you're doing a cold outreach campaign, and we do this for recruiting too. So you guys might think of this in order to find recruits. Is you go in and you have them add friends to members of the group. So you go to like a newbie wholesaler group and
yeah.
find people that want to squat up, like
Mhm.
they're done struggling and they want to be your setter. They just want to be part of a team. Then you go in and you start adding people as friends inside that group, or you have a VA do it. And then as they accept your friend request, boom, you're able to send them a message and get
Love
past
it.
those limitations.
Yo, check this out. I'm just slacking my VA right now. AJ, because what we do is when we get friend requests from people is we message them and then say, hey, thanks for friend requesting me, and then we accept their friend request. So that's probably what's triggering it, is the fact that we message them before we accept their friend request. We need to
Yep.
accept it and then message them, and then we probably won't get rocked.
100%. Because right now you'll probably be limited to 20 or 30 or 40 if you're lucky, but you can get to 100 plus if you're friends first
Okay. All right,
per day.
AJ, my main VA. Hey, accept the friend request and then message them. Don't message and then accept. Yeah, that's a golden nugget for me, man. I appreciate it. I got to get out of Facebook jail.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So it's knowing tricks like this that are going to be super helpful. And I'll tell you what, with paid advertising, you're trading money for more money. With organic advertising, you're trading time for more money. Right. So this is the limitation that you run into, is there has to be actually human labor behind it.
Right.
But the way that we do it is like we leverage other people's work. We leverage OPW, right?
Other
We find people
people's
that
work.
want to squat up and use their own Facebook accounts. And we even have ways, and this is it's kind of a secret. This is a secret sauce that we kind of keep to our inner circle, but you can get Facebook accounts. You can get aged Facebook accounts and then have your top setters be working from 3 or 4 different Facebook accounts at once.
Do you see, like, so my viewers are from the Philippines? Do you see that those aren't as effective, and unless it's like from the United States? Like if it's out of the country, are those less effective?
No, so you got to find a VA that's willing to change up their account and make it look like it's a US account.
All right, you hear that, VAs? Let's go. Let's change those accounts. Let's put change that location.
Yeah, you can hide your location for one, and then two is just doing a couple posts and changing your profile a little bit to make it look like you're an investor, right?
Mm,
And then you're going
okay.
to get better. You're going to get better results.
Well, there you go, guys. Let's go. VAs, let's do it. They watch this live, so I know they're watching.
That's awesome. Yeah. So these are the little things that make a huge difference for us. And then when we're able to use commission only appointment setters, it's like, when you build a team around door to door.
Yeah,
When
exactly.
we were in that world, because you did it too, you go
Mhm,
to colleges and stuff like that,
exactly.
and recruit kids to go do summer work and just to go travel and go to little towns and stuff like that and just go hustle. Well, it's similar with this. If you're finding a bunch of hustlers and you find a crew to do this with, where you're not lone wolfing it, you have a battle squad to go out with, it makes it so much better.
What is a commission that most of them accept or are willing to do to post 13 a day? All that 13 posts a day, 5 days a week.
10% of the assignment. So if it's
10%.
$20,000 assignment, they $2,000 pop.
Okay. And okay, so these based reps, should be doing 13 posts a day, 5 days a week, and then they're setting the appointment, and then they goes to the acquisition rep, or if it's the lower echelon, the owner, that's the acquisition manager closing deals, right?
Yep,
Do
exactly.
they ever graduate to the setters? Ever graduate to just closing the deals instead of having to set the appointment?
Yeah, that's where you're going to find your best acquisition managers, is hiring from your pool of setters, right?
Okay.
Because then they're hungry and they're looking at this as an opportunity that they can earn, and then they're going to compete in order to get that opportunity to be promoted into acquisition manager. Another position is called head appointment setter,
Mhm.
and this is like a team leader, and they just make 10% of the paycheck of other setters on their
Right.
team. So
Overhead.
it's a small kickback, but it
Overhead.
kind of puts leadership within your structure.
Yeah, like kind of like when we were doing the door to door, we would get, if you managed a team, you would get an override, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, that's
Yep.
sweet, brother. It sounds like you just modeled like the door to door. I'm sure there's a lot of industries like this, but it sounds like what you did, but just with Facebook instead of knocking doors.
100%, dude. Yeah, that's what I did. Is I took that and I'm like, man, if I could build teams around going and knocking doors, that work sucks. If I could do that, I could build teams around real estate, which is way more enticing. And I ran with that. I just took that model and transitioned it over.
That's amazing. So, dude, 13 posts a day. What does that take someone? Maybe like an hour or 2 hours?
Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of time at all. You're putting in like 1 or 2 hours a day. So it's very much a side hustle for them. But if
Yeah.
you have somebody that's stepping it up and they're a rock star, you have them working from 3 or 4 different Facebook accounts, then they're going to be able to put in more time.
Got it. Okay, so if there's multiple Facebook accounts, then they can really put out some. But then they also have to respond, I'm assuming, to all of the the comments, have to look over them, talk to the people. So once someone comments on something saying, yeah, I know of somebody, do they DM them? Do they say, hey, what's your number? Like, what's the process for that?
Yeah, so you have the conversation a little bit messenger to where you don't want to seem weird. There's a lot of scams out there, right?
Okay.
So people are on high alert. So you got to set yourself apart, and you have to be real. You have to seem like an actual buyer. Ask them serious questions about the property. How soon you looking to sell it? How many bedrooms? How many baths? What neighborhood is it in? What's the address? Find out all that information first, and then book the call, and then you'll be able to get much better results. And you always want to be selling the next step. So in
Right.
Messenger, you say, "Hey, man, we're definitely going to be we're either going to come out there ourselves, or we're going to send our buying partner out there to the property and go check it out. But before we line that up, I'd like to talk to you on the phone first and find out a little bit more about the property."
Got it. And once you move it over the phone, it's game over.
Yeah, yeah, because you're building rapport at that point, and you're going to be able to determine if there's motivation there, and then lock them into an appointment.
Have you seen like tested like A/B testing like what posts are more effective, like hey, like a bandit sign, like hey, looking for this like a property to flip, or is it better to be like, hey guys, I love the neighborhood, I'm just wondering if someone knows of a property or anybody selling in this neighborhood, like acting like you're literally just looking in that area. Do you know what I'm saying? Like instead of just like a generic post being like, hey, I'm looking for something in the neighborhood's called Mesa Park, for example. I'm looking for something in Mesa Park. Does anybody know?
So asking, does anybody know of something to sell? If that's a really good one, we get a lot of results from that because then you're getting those one-off leads.
Hmm.
But we find that the more targeted you get, the less response you get. And Facebook groups, comments are the lifeblood of your posts. Every time you get a comment, it bumps it up to the top of the group, and then it's going to push it out to more people. So I want broad. Broad is better because you
Okay.
just want more comments, and it creates a snowball effect.
You ever have your fake not well, your other Facebook accounts comment on a post to make it appear higher?
So we'll comment on our own
Yeah.
posts, but it's not like we're taking different accounts, and that'd just be a lot of time.
Okay.
Where you can buffer your own post just by commenting on your own post a couple times, and then if people are commenting that that it's not a lead, like it's another wholesaler or something, then you
Mhm.
just BS with them. You do small talk inside the comments, make
Yeah.
the algorithm go crazy, and then it's just gonna push it out to more people.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so you definitely, no matter who comments, you always respond saying like thank you or whatever, just so the algorithm starts going wild.
Yeah.
Man, I love it. I think this is a great strategy that I've actually I tried it. Well, I've done it in like not this specific strategy, but I've left posts in other like real estate investor groups asking if anybody needs help finding a buyer, just like to JV, but this is like directly going for sellers instead of investors.
Yeah, 100% direct to sellers. And once in a while, we're getting them from agents that have pocket listings, just off market deals.
Have you tried the using your setters and you people that you work with your team to go do it and to find JV deals, or you specifically just do the seller route?
No, because you'll find JV opportunities inside the garage sale groups, anyways. Like you'll still get other wholesalers that comment on your posts. And for me, it really distracts the setters
Yeah,
because there's so many of them, and I
there's
want
so
them to
many. Yeah.
focus on just like the best direct to seller lead, somebody who's qualified, and I know it's going to be worth the acquisition manager's time.
Do you deal with a lot of people that want retail that say yes, I know somebody, and then it's obviously they're not motivated? Does it happen a lot?
So we try to determine motivation in Messenger as much as we can, but it's really hard to get people to open up in Messenger. You're just still
Yeah.
a stranger on Facebook, right? So running the triage in the first 10 minutes of the phone call
Hmm.
is really effective. So basically, your acquisition manager in that first 5 or 10 minutes, they're going to determine if that motivation's there or not, and then hang up the phone if it's not. There's also a process called triage, to where
Hmm.
you have a triage caller. This is a setter
Hmm.
who gets promoted to this position, and it's their job just to talk to people on the phone, so they're that first human connection, and
Hmm.
then they're vetting it out more and making sure that it's qualified before pushing it to the closer. That way, the closer's calendar isn't getting bogged up with a bunch of unqualified leads.
And is that the process? They would set it on their calendar? It's not like a live transfer, be like, "Hey, I got someone hot, answer your phone." How do you have that set up?
Some people will do it like a live transfer, and then others will do booked appointments. If you're doing more volume, if you have a lot more calls coming in, then you have to do it by
Like
appointment.
yeah, like a Calendly account or something?
Exactly.
Okay. That's cool. I got somebody so I these are live, right? So I got some questions coming through. Is that cool if we answer some of them?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's rock it.
All right. How do you deal with all the realtors commenting? That's what someone asked. Facebook user asked that.
Yes. So you want realtors to comment on your posts, and you want wholesalers to comment on your post, even though those aren't the leads you're going to be focusing on. The reason is because the algorithm goes crazy when it gets comments. So the more comments you can get, it creates a snowball effect. It's like panning for gold. You're going to get a bunch of comments, and you're looking for the legit sellers within all of these comments. And then with these agents and these wholesalers, talk to them. Have a conversation inside the comments section, because that's going to make your post have way more reach, and you're going to have a better chance of finding sellers. That's why we say keep your post broad, right? You
Yes.
want to keep your post broad so that you have this effect. And then just by getting that airtime, you're going to get the correct type of person coming in. Plus, with agents, find agents that are down to do off market deals. If they're investor friendly and they have off market deals, they're willing to do it for off market commission. Some will want 2%, some want 3%. Some of them, especially the newbie agents, would be
Mhm.
down to work for just like a $2,000 flat commission,
For sure.
right? So you get them on your side, they become like a bird dog for you.
I love it. I love it. Okay. I think someone followed that question up with, how do you find the buyers? More Facebook groups as well?
Yeah, Facebook groups, you can definitely find buyers with investor groups and cash buyer groups, private money groups, and stuff like that. But that's just one method. Another method you want to do is just pull a list from an area of cash buyers, some properties that were purchased in cash, skip trace that, and then send out SMS. You're
Bro,
going to
there's like
be able to build a list way faster that way.
yeah, there's thousands of ways to find buyers. It's crazy. There's so many different ways.
Yeah.
So you said you have the people that want to squat up doing these Facebook posts, so they're not VAs. They're like you said Americans, is that right?
Yeah, US based. A lot of them are other wholesalers that just want to squat up. And then some of them are just coming from the sales arena. They've done door to door. They worked in a call center. They worked commission only. People that do well in MLM tend to crush it with this too.
But
That's
not
multi-level
VAs
marketing.
necessarily.
No, we don't use VAs as setters. We try to stay away from that.
Is that because maybe it's more difficult for them to have the like a normal conversation?
So it's yeah, there's one is communication barrier, but even if you find somebody that has excellent communication skills, there's little differences, just little differences in dialect and slang that we speak to each other, and that will kind of make people understand, oh, this isn't somebody based in the US. Right.
Love
So there's that. And it's not just that, it's also a different skill set. You're not going to get a VA to work commission only. They won't do it. They want job
it.
security, and they want to be paid. They want predictability and job security. That's what motivates them.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
Now,
So
somebody who is more of the entrepreneur mindset, they like that high risk, high adrenaline work. They don't want to wage. They'd rather risk more to make bigger paychecks.
high risk, high reward. I love it. All right. So one
Yeah.
last thing that's coming through is or at the moment is specifically what type of community groups do you post? And I think we kind of already went over this neighborhood groups. We're talking neighborhood groups. We're not talking investor groups like with wholesalers in them. You want neighborhood groups,
Yep.
right?
100%.
All right, man. Well, hey, that's been some juicy stuff for us today. And honestly, I think everybody should go over. You have a Facebook group, right?
Yeah, I got a Facebook group. It has 13,000 members in it. It's super high quality. We have constant trainings in there. We have interviews with experts. We have giveaways, scripts, swipe files, all kinds of stuff that you can get and pick up inside of that group. And the best way to find the group is if you go to the website, botfox.net. That's BOTFOX.net. not .com, .net. So if you go to botfox.net, that's a free training, 3 secrets to finding deals in Facebook groups, and it's kind of what we went over today, but more of more on the structure, and it's more webinar format than interview format. So if you want to be able to access this training in a different format, definitely opt in there. And then on the next page, it's going to have the button to join the group. So first you opt into the training, and then on the next page you can join the group.
Yo, let's go there right now. Why not?
Yeah, 100%.
I'm gonna go there right now. I'm gonna check it out. Is that cool?
Hell yeah, man. Awesome.
BotFox. I'm sharing my screen, right?
Yep, we see it.
Let's go, man. It's technology, baby.
Hell yeah.
BotFox.net. I'm gonna go there
Yep.
right now. I'm gonna fill out my name. Let's do it, guys. Everybody with me. Let's go.
Awesome.
So that's sweet, man. I'm gonna check this out because I've talked to some people about it before, and I think it's a great way to do it. So guys, this is it. Is this what you're saying? Like you just click it and then you can join the community, and then I'm
Yep.
sure they can book. Is it a call with you or is it with your team?
That's a call with my team.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, you've seen it here first. I just did it. It's easy. Just go botfox.net. And I think this is great because, dude, I hate spending money on marketing. I don't think it's even necessary. There's just too many ways to get deals with low to no marketing spend, right? I mean, most coaches and people will teach you just to like pull list, cold call it, text it. And then, you're new, you don't know what you're doing. You spend 10K, 20K, and then you're like, I don't know. I freaking did everything they said. I mean, we've all done it, right? And sometimes you hit it big. You get like a big wholesale fee, like 50, 100,000, but sometimes you don't. But the cool thing about this is little to no market spend. And that's what I'm focusing on too. So this is a great thing that I can use in my own business.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love that. And for those of you watching that you're like, man, I just don't want to put in time. I'd rather just put in money and get a return on ad spend and be able to track my KPIs. If that's what you're into, you can have that same predictability inside of organic marketing, and it can still be hands off. That's the way I like to do it. I like to work off of KPIs and tracking sheets, and then leveraging other people's work in order to get this done. And if you just want to have this built for you right out of the box, we're here to help you with that.
Let's go. You heard it here first from Kyle Rogers. He'll build your business and you can chill, right?
Yeah. That's
I
it.
love it. All right, guys. Well, Kyle, you got anything else you'd like to drop for us? Any other golden nuggets? You've graced us with great info today.
Yeah, I got one last piece of advice, man. When I was putting in 80-hour weeks, I wasn't happy, and I was able to make some money. But what I find these days, the less I do, the more I make. So just remember that, guys. The less you do, the more you make. And if you work on, instead of working hard, you work smart, and you work on things that move the needle the most, then your life can completely change.
Dang, that's powerful, bro. Because a lot of people think the harder you work, the more you make. But you're saying the opposite. I'm hearing.
Yep. 100%. That's how I'm able to travel the world full time, never go step foot in a property, able to do this all hands off, run 2 different 7-figure companies completely hands off. It's because I have systems in place, and I have a tribe behind me, my people, to be able to execute.
That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. Let me ask you this. Do you think Facebook will ever be dry up as a lead source? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Man, the thing is with Facebook groups is Facebook has been pushing it hard. They've been promoting groups big time. They had a Super Bowl ad to where they were promoting Facebook groups. So it's definitely a priority on the platform. They're wanting to put emphasis on that. And if they ended up changing it for whatever reason, it dried up, then I would just go somewhere else. There's SMS, there's and that could change. But the thing is you adapt and you find out what the next thing is, what the next traffic source. Traffic, you never have a traffic problem, guys. You never have a traffic problem. There's traffic out there, more traffic than we could even care to be able to handle. There's things out there, ways to get traffic that you don't even know about, that you could build an entire company around, but there's no time. what you lack is not traffic, it's systems and the people to help you execute those systems.
That's beautiful. Beautifully said, Kyle. That was amazing.
Thanks, brother.
So that guys, you heard it here first again. You've heard it multiple times. You heard me say that. Go to visit BotFox. That I mean, that's legit. I'm definitely gonna start using that strategy. And yeah, that's cool. Well, hey man, I appreciate your time. You go enjoy yourself in Coeur d'Alene. When you come drive through Utah, hit me up. We'll go get something to eat. We'll go chill. Maybe I go off road with you. We'll see, man. But let me know when you get
Hell
down here.
yeah.
All right?
Go hit some trails for sure. All right. Thanks so much, everybody, for jumping in. And
Yeah.
thanks for having me, Nathan. I'll see you
Hey
guys
man.
next time.
See you later, brother. Bye.